What really happened after my daughter-in-law told her friends my cooking was a joke and that having me around was annoying? How did clearing a few plates and signing a single piece of paper turn into a moving truck in our driveway and a look on her face I will never forget? This is how an old chef they thought was finished used one quiet signature and a cooking blog to change everything. Before we go any further, take a second to subscribe, hit the hype button, and like the video. It really helps the channel grow, and tell us in the comments, what would you do in this situation? The coffee grinder hums at 5:30 in the morning, a sound I've loved for 40 years. I stand in my kitchen, the one I designed myself when I bought this house 15 years ago, and watch the beans collapse into powder. The aroma fills the space before the sun even thinks about rising. This is my favorite time. No voices, no demands. Just me and the ingredients. I pull eggs from the fridge, crack them into a bowl with one hand the way I taught 100-line cooks back when I ran the kitchen at Marcello's. 6 eggs, a splash of cream, a pinch of salt. My wrist moves in small circles, incorporating air without bruising the mixture. People think scrambled eggs are simple. People are wrong. Eggs are a test. Low heat, patience, constant motion. The difference between cafeteria slop and something you remember for years is just technique and respect for the ingredient. Noel stumbles in around 6, hair sticking up, eyes on his phone. My son, 35 years old, same age I was when I became head chef. He grunts something that might be good morning and pours himself coffee from the pot I already brewed. He doesn't look at the pan, doesn't smell the butter browning with fresh thyme, just scrolls. Big day? I ask, keeping my voice low. Same as always, he mutters. Logistics meeting at 9, then probably fighting with the warehouse guys about the quarterly routing again. I nod and plate the eggs. Golden curds, soft but not wet, with chives I grew in the back patio boxes. Toast from the sourdough I started 3 days ago, a little jam I made last month when the strawberries were perfect at the farmer's market. I set his plate down gently. He glances at it. Thanks, Dad. Bianca arrives 10 minutes later, already dressed in what she calls her content outfit, which seems to mean tight jeans and a sweater that probably costs more than my weekly grocery budget. She's on her phone too, but hers is propped against a water bottle, filming herself as she walks. Morning, everyone, she says to the camera, her voice 3 notches brighter than it was when she was cursing at Noel last night about leaving dishes in the sink. Just coming down to this amazing breakfast spread. She doesn't look at me either, just sweeps the phone across the table, making sure the plates are in frame, then sits down and angles the lens to catch her taking a bite. Oh my God, so good, she says, eyes on the screen. Then she stops recording and sets the phone down. Her face goes flat. She chews normally, scrolling through something else now. I plate my own portion and sit across from them. We eat in silence, except for Noel's fingers tapping his screen and Bianca's little huffs of laughter at whatever she's reading. I'm invisible. I know this. I've known it for months. But I keep cooking because that's what I do. It's who I am, even if they don't see it. Bianca's phone buzzes. She swipes and her face lights up. Oh, Tara's calling. She taps the screen and props the phone up again. Tara's face fills the display, all white teeth and hair extensions. Hey, babe. Tara's voice is loud enough that I hear it clearly across the table. What are you up to? Just having breakfast, Bianca says, waving a hand vaguely toward the table. Gideon made his usual thing? Oh, that's sweet, Tara says, but her tone is mocking. Does he do this every day? Bianca laughs. It's a sound I've heard before, but never aimed at me so directly. Pretty much. I mean, his cooking is a joke, honestly. And having that old man around all the time is kind of annoying, you know? The words land like a cleaver on a cutting board. Sharp. Final. Tara laughs too. Girl, I can't even imagine. But hey, free breakfast, right? I guess, Bianca says, rolling her eyes at the camera. Anyway, are we still on for brunch this weekend? I'm thinking we do it here. I'll set up the good backdrop in the living room. Perfect. I'll bring mimosa stuff. They keep talking. Bianca's fork moves through my eggs like they're cafeteria scramble. Noel shifts in his seat, but says nothing. His eyes stay on his phone. My hands rest on the table, steady. I learned a long time ago that in a professional kitchen, when someone disrespects you, silence is the sharpest response. You don't yell, you don't defend, you just stop wasting your craft on people who can't taste it. I stand, collect the plates quietly, and carry them to the sink. Bianca doesn't pause her conversation. Noel glances up for half a second, then back down. I wash each dish with the same care I used to clean my station at the end of a Saturday night service. Thorough, methodical, respectful of the tools. Then I dry my hands, walk to my bedroom, and pull a folder from the filing cabinet beside my bed. Inside are papers I've kept organized for years. Property deed, mortgage statements, all marked paid in full, a few letters from my lawyer, Hadley Crane, about estate planning and property rights, and one fresh document, printed last week, that I haven't signed yet. I slip it into my bag along with my reading glasses and walk out the front door without saying goodbye. The bus takes 20 minutes. I sit near the back and watch the city slide past the window, thinking about how many times I've ridden this route to buy spices in the International District or check out a new supplier. The courthouse is downtown, a gray building with metal detectors and board security guards. I've been here before for jury duty, and once when I helped Franco with a vendor contract dispute. The notary's office is on the second floor. A woman in her 50s with kind eyes and reading glasses on a chain reviews my document, checks my ID, and stamps the page with a solid thunk. "All set, Mr. Larkin," she says, sliding it back across the desk. I look at my signature, still wet. One name, one date, one decision. I fold the paper carefully, tuck it back into the folder, and take the bus home. When I walk back into the house, Bianca is on the couch with her laptop, editing photos. Noel has already gone to work. She doesn't look up. I go to my small office, the corner of the spare room where I keep my recipe notebooks and filming equipment, and sit down at my desk. My phone buzzes. A text from Hadley. "Received. Everything is in order. Call me if you need anything." I don't reply. I just sit there, looking at the notification, feeling something loosen in my chest. Not anger, not even satisfaction yet. Just relief. The kind you feel when you finally made the right decision after months of swallowing the wrong ones. I lie awake that night, listening to the house settle. The refrigerator hums, pipes tick, the quiet mechanical sounds of a place that once felt like mine. I bought this house in 2010 after my best year at Marcello's. 4 bedrooms, a garden, space for a grill. I designed the kitchen myself, arguing with the contractor until he finally let me draw the layout. It was supposed to be my retirement kitchen, a place to experiment without servers yelling for table 6, maybe even teach private lessons someday. Instead, it became a place where I cook breakfast for 2 people who treat me like an inconvenience. I stare at the ceiling and drift back to Marcello's. 23 years as head chef, 12 on the awards list. Saturday night service, the hiss of pans, blades hitting boards, 16 cooks moving as one. Young chefs used to look at me with respect when I corrected a sauce or broke down a lamb shoulder. Noel worked there one summer when he was 19. I didn't give him special treatment, made him show up on time, keep his station clean, stay quiet, and learn. He hated it until he didn't. He once said it taught him discipline. Somewhere along the way, he forgot. I retired 3 years ago, aching back, stiff knees, rising pressure. Franco threw me a party with 200 people. Chefs I'd trained flew from 3 states. We drank until 2 in the morning, laughing about the time the oven caught fire during a wedding service and I kept plating desserts. Noel and Bianca had been married a year then, living in a noisy 1-bedroom. Bianca complained nonstop about the rent. When I mentioned downsizing, Noel suggested they move in just for a while, until we saved for a down payment. I agreed, because he was my son, and because the house felt too quiet after leaving the restaurant. That was 3 years ago. They haven't saved a cent. Bianca spends her days building her brand, which mostly involves buying things. Noel works, but barely covers their phones and his car payment. I pay for everything else. Taxes, groceries, utilities. I cook, I clean. And somewhere along the line, I stopped being a person and became part of the furniture. At 5, too restless to sleep, I go downstairs, make coffee, open my laptop. My blog, Gideon's Table, stares back. I started it 2 years ago when Jonas, someone I met at a food photography workshop, suggested I film some recipes. "You've got 40 years of knowledge," he said. People would watch. I didn't believe him, but I filmed simple videos, me explaining stock, knife sharpening, rescuing a broken sauce. At first, 50 views. Then an old line cook shared a post, and suddenly 5,000. Then 10, now 42,000, growing weekly. Comments call me calming, steady. A woman in Kansas said my risotto video saved her anniversary dinner. A student in Seattle thanked me for helping him pass knife skills. It's small, nothing like a full dining room at Marcello's, but it's real. It's respect. I sip my coffee, scrolling, wondering what they'd think if they knew I lived in my own home like a guest. At 9, I walk to the cafe 3 blocks away. Franco is already there with his cappuccino and newspaper. He stands, hugs me. "My wife watches all your videos," he says. "She says you're better than the celebrity chefs." I smile. Tell her I'm honored. You should visit the restaurant. Mateo, new head chef, keeps asking how you got the veal so tender. I tell him you are magic. Not magic, I say, just consistent. That is magic. He pauses. How's home? Noel okay? I hesitate. Franco reads people too well. It's fine. Gideon. It's fine, I repeat. We talk an hour. When I leave, he grips my shoulder. If you ever need anything, call me. Walking home, I feel lighter. Franco sees me. Jonas sees me. My followers see me. The only people who don't are the ones living under my roof. That night, Bianca has Tara over for what she calls a content planning session. They sit in the living room with wine and ring lights, talking loudly about engagement rates. I'm in the kitchen washing the dishes they left piled in the sink, and I can hear every word. Your dad's blog is actually kind of cute, Tara says. I saw it pop up on my feed the other day. Bianca laughs. Oh my God, right? It's like for bored old people, but I guess it keeps him busy. Noel is there too. I hear him chuckle. Not a real laugh. Just a small, uncomfortable sound that means he agrees but doesn't want to argue. My hand's still in the soapy water. I stare at the window above the sink, at my reflection in the dark glass. I don't recognize the person looking back. Not because I've aged, because I let myself become small. I dry my hands, walk past them without a word, and go to my office. I open the folder on my laptop labeled Family Meals Drafts. Inside are 3 videos I filmed last week but never posted. One about making egg dishes for people who don't appreciate them. One about knowing when to stop serving people who don't respect your table. And one about the importance of boundaries, both in kitchens and in life. I move them into a new folder, label it Scheduled. Then I close the laptop and sit in the dark, thinking about 40 years of feeding people, about how the best meals are wasted on the ones who can't taste them. The brunch happens on Saturday. Bianca spends Friday cleaning the living room, which really means shoving things into closets and rearranging the furniture so the light hits better for photos. She sets up 2 ring lights on tripods, angles the couch, and places decorative pillows that have never been used anywhere but in her videos. I stay out of the way. In the morning, I'm in the kitchen before dawn, prepping vegetables for a stock I don't really need to make, just to keep my hands busy. The rhythm of the knife calms me. Onions, carrots, celery, thin slices, even cuts. Muscle memory. Noel comes down around 8, dressed for a jog he probably won't take. He pours coffee and leans against the counter, watching me work. You doing okay, Dad? He asks. I glance at him. His face is tired, shadows under his eyes. He looks older than 35, older than I did at his age. I'm fine, I say. Bianca's got people coming over later. She asked if you could make those little frittata things you do sometimes, the ones in the muffin tin. Did she ask, or did she tell you to ask? He shifts his weight. Dad, I'm just clarifying. He sighs. Look, I know she can be a lot. But she's trying to build something, you know? This influencer thing, it's her career. I set the knife down carefully. And what's my role in her career? You're not... He stops, rubs his face. Can you just make the frittatas? Please? I look at him for a long moment. My son. The boy I taught to ride a bike. The teenager I stayed up with during exam season. The man who now stands in my kitchen and asks me to perform for his wife's friends like a hired caterer. Sure, I say. He relaxes. Thanks, Dad. I appreciate it. He leaves. I finish my prep, then start on the frittatas. Eggs, cheese, herbs. Little bites of effort for people who will photograph them and forget them. I bake them in silence. By 11, the house is full. Bianca's friends arrive in pairs. Tara and someone named Kennedy, then 2 more women I don't recognize. They're all dressed like they're going to a photo shoot, which I guess they are. They hug Bianca, squeal about her outfit, and immediately start arranging themselves on the couch. I bring out the frittatas on a platter. Set them on the coffee table. Nobody looks at me. Oh my God, these are so cute, Kennedy says, holding one up to the light. Can I post this? Of course, Bianca says. Gideon made them. He used to be a chef or something. Used to be. Like it's past tense. Like I vanished. I go back to the kitchen. Through the doorway, I can hear them talking, laughing. Tara is filming, panning across the table, the food, the group. Bianca is in the center, smiling at the camera, playing hostess in my living room. I step out to the back patio. It's small, just a concrete slab with some chairs and the grill I bought when I moved in. The air is cool. I sit and watch the neighbor's cat pick its way along the fence line. The sliding door is cracked open. Sound carries. So wait, Kennedy is saying. You guys live here with Noel's dad? Yeah, Bianca says. It's temporary. We're saving up. Tara laughs. Saving up for what? You bought like 3 new bags last month. Investment pieces, Bianca says, and they all laugh. But seriously, Kennedy presses, what's the plan? Are you going to buy him out or something? There's a pause. I lean forward slightly. Honestly, Bianca says, her voice dropping into a conspiratorial tone. Once Noel gets serious about money, I think we can convince him to either rent this place out or move Gideon somewhere smaller. Like, the house is worth a lot, and we're basically letting it sit here while he makes eggs every morning. You should totally use it as collateral, Tara says. I know people who've done that, like take out a line of credit against it and start a real business. That's actually not a bad idea, Bianca says. I mean, it's Noel's inheritance eventually anyway, right? Might as well make it work for us now. I sit very still. The neighbor's cat jumps off the fence. A car passes on the street. Inside, they're laughing about something else now. The conversation already moved on. I stand and walk back inside. Through the living room without stopping, up the stairs to my office. I close the door and sit at my desk. I open my laptop, navigate to the folder where I keep important documents. Property deed, house title, mortgage history, all in my name, solely, completely. I bought this house outright in 2010 with money I saved over 30 years of working 6-day weeks. Noel isn't on any of these papers. Bianca isn't either. They're not tenants. They're not renters. They're guests. And guests can be asked to leave. I open another folder. Screenshots I've been saving for weeks without really knowing why. Text messages from Bianca to Noel complaining about me. Comments she made on posts about living with in-laws. A voice memo where she joked with Tara about that old man's cooking that Noel sent me by accident and never apologized for. I sit there, staring at the screen, and something clicks into place. Not anger, clarity. I've been thinking about this wrong. I've been acting like I'm the problem, like I need to be smaller or quieter or more useful. But I'm not the problem. I'm the solution they've been taking for granted. My phone buzzes. A text from a contact labeled Hadley Property. The message is simple. Free this afternoon if you want to talk. No rush. I stare at it. Then I look at the calendar on my wall. Saturday. The beginning of a new month. A good time for changes. I pick up the phone and type, I'll be there in an hour. Her response is immediate. See you then. I close the laptop. Stand. Walk downstairs. Bianca and her friends are taking group photos now, posing with the leftover frittatas. Nobody notices me leave. Hadley Crane's office is in a low brick building near the waterfront, the kind of place where the wood paneling is real and the diplomas on the wall are dusty because they've been there for 20 years. I've known Hadley since I bought the house. She handled the closing, set up my will, and checks in every couple of years to make sure my paperwork is current. She's careful, methodical, the kind of lawyer who reads every word 3 times before signing anything. She greets me at the door, shakes my hand, and leads me into her office. It smells like old paper and coffee. We sit across from each other at her desk, and she folds her hands, waiting. I need to change my living situation, I say. She nods. Doesn't ask why. Just pulls out a notepad and a pen. Tell me the details, I explain. Noel and Bianca moved in 3 years ago under an informal agreement. No lease, no rent. They were supposed to save for their own place. They haven't. Now Bianca is talking about using my house as collateral for her projects, and Noel isn't standing up for me or for basic respect. Hadley listens without interrupting. When I finish, she taps her pen against the pad. You're the sole owner of the property? She asks. Yes. No tenancy agreement, no written contract. Nothing. She nods slowly. Then legally they're guests. You have the right to end that arrangement at any time, but we need to do it properly. Give them notice. Follow the process. Otherwise, it could turn into a fight. How long? 30 days is standard for this kind of situation. Maybe less, depending on the jurisdiction and circumstances. We can file a notice to vacate. If they don't leave voluntarily, we'd need to go through eviction, but that's a last resort. I think about it. 30 days of Bianca's brunch parties and Noel's silence. 30 days of being invisible in my own house. What if I sell? I ask. Hadley raises an eyebrow. You want to sell the house? Maybe, or downsize. Move somewhere smaller. I don't need 4 bedrooms. If you sell, any occupants would need to vacate before closing. That would force the issue. How fast can it move? She leans back in her chair. If you're serious, I can start the paperwork this week. Get appraisals, list it with an agent, and file the notice simultaneously. If you price it right, a house in that neighborhood could move in a month. maybe less. A month. 4 weeks. Less than the time it takes to properly age a prosciutto. What do I need to sign? I ask. She studies me. Gideon, are you sure? This is your home. It stopped being my home when I became staff. She doesn't argue, just pulls out a folder and starts walking me through options. We talk for 2 hours. By the end, I've signed authorization for her to draft the paperwork, contacted a real estate agent she recommends, and outlined a timeline that feels both terrifying and right. When I leave her office, the sun is setting over the waterfront. I walk along the pier for a while, watching boats come in, trying to process what I just set in motion. My phone buzzes. A text from Jonas. Hey, latest video hit 15K views. People love the knife skills series. Got time this week to film the next one? I text back, how about something different? Thinking about a video on boundaries in the kitchen. His response is immediate. Love it. Send me a rough outline and I'll help you script it. I sit on a bench overlooking the water and open the Notes app on my phone. Start typing. When to stop cooking for people who don't respect your table. Signs you're being taken advantage of. Why good chefs know when to walk away. The words come easy. 40 years of experience condensed into bullet points. I send it to Jonas and watch the seagulls fight over a discarded sandwich. On Monday, I meet with the real estate agent in a conference room that smells like new carpet and ambition. Her name is Patricia. She's in her 50s, sharp-eyed, with a tablet full of market comparisons. She walks me through the numbers. My house is worth significantly more than I paid for it. The neighborhood has grown. Young families are moving in. If I list it at the right price, she says, I could have offers within 2 weeks. Do you need time to think about it? She asks. I look at the photos of my kitchen on her screen, the counters I designed, the pot rack I installed, the window over the sink where I've watched 15 years of sunrises. Let's do it, I say. She smiles, starts typing. Within an hour, I've signed listing agreements and scheduled a photographer for Wednesday. Tuesday, I'm at the cafe with Franco again. He orders us both lunch, some kind of panini the new chef is testing. It's good, but needs more acid. You're distracted, Franco says, watching me push lettuce around my plate. Just thinking about changes. What kind of changes? I hesitate, then I tell him. Not everything, but enough. The disrespect, the comments, the way I've become invisible. Franco listens with the same intensity he used to bring to tasting new dishes. When I finish, he sets down his sandwich and leans across the table. Gideon, you are one of the best chefs I've ever known, not because of your technique, though that's flawless, but because you understand respect. You taught everyone in that kitchen that respect for the ingredient, respect for the craft, and respect for each other is what separates a cook from a chef. He pauses. Don't let anyone, not even your son, make you forget that. My throat tightens. I nod. Whatever you need, Franco says. I'm here. You want a reference, a place to work, a loan, you ask. I appreciate that. I'm serious. You have more friends in this city than you realize. On Wednesday, the photographer comes. Bianca is out, thank God, at some event downtown. I move through the house with the photographer, watching her capture angles and light. She comments on the kitchen, how well designed it is. How professional. I thank her and don't mention I'm the one who designed it. That night, I sit in my office and draft the video Jonas and I discussed. I don't name anyone. Don't point fingers. Just talk, directly to the camera, about the importance of knowing your worth. About how the best cooking in the world is wasted on people who can't taste it. About boundaries. Jonas helps me edit it over video call. We keep it under 10 minutes. Calm, measured. Personal, but not bitter. At the end, I say, if you're cooking for people who mock you, it's time to find a new table. This is good, Jonas says. Really good. When do you want to post it? I look at my calendar. The moving company is scheduled for Saturday. The legal notice will be delivered Friday. Schedule it for Saturday morning, I say. 11 a.m. You got it. Thursday, Noel catches me in the kitchen. He looks nervous. Dad, can we talk? Sure. He sits at the table, rubs his hands together. Some guys at work were talking about a cooking blog. Took me a minute to realize they were talking about you. Small world. Yeah. He laughs, but it sounds forced. They said you were like a legend or something. One guy said his wife watches your videos every week. That's nice. Dad. He looks at me directly. Are you okay? You've been quiet lately. I set down the dish towel. I've always been quiet, Noel. I know, but he stops. Starts again. Is everything all right? With you being here, I mean. With us. This is the moment. I could tell him everything. Could explain how his silence hurts worse than Bianca's insults. Could ask him why he stopped defending his own father. But I don't, because he should already know. Everything's fine, I say. Don't worry about it. He doesn't look convinced, but he doesn't push. Just nods and leaves. Friday, the notice arrives. I hear the courier knock. Watch through my office window as Noel signs for the envelope. He opens it in the driveway. I see his face change. Confusion, shock. He pulls out his phone, probably calling Bianca. I don't go downstairs. I stay in my office working on the final details of Saturday. The moving company confirmed their time. Jonas confirmed the video is scheduled. Hadley sent me a text. Everything's in order. Call if you need anything. I sit in the dark that night, listening to Noel and Bianca argue downstairs. Their voices are muffled, but the tone is clear. Panic, anger, disbelief. I lie in bed and think about my mother, who taught me to cook when I was 8 years old. She used to say that food is love, but love has to go both ways. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't feed people who are trying to starve you. Tomorrow, I stop pouring. Friday night bleeds into Saturday morning. I don't sleep much. Around 4 a.m., I give up and go downstairs, make coffee, sit at the kitchen counter in the dark, listening to the house breathe. This will be one of the last times I do this here. The thought should hurt, but it doesn't. It feels like the end of a long shift when you finally take off your apron and your shoulders drop and you remember what it's like to stand up straight. At 6, I hear Noel's alarm go off upstairs. Footsteps, the shower running. He comes down 20 minutes later, dressed but looking like he hasn't slept either. His eyes are red. "Dad," he starts. "Coffee's ready," I say, nodding toward the pot. He pours a cup, sits across from me. We don't speak for a long minute. "You're really doing this?" he asks finally. "Yes, but where will we go?" "That's not my problem anymore, Noel." He flinches. "That's cold." "Is it?" I keep my voice level. "You've lived here for 3 years, paid nothing. I cooked, cleaned, stayed out of your way, and your wife talks about me like I'm furniture. You laugh along. You say nothing when she mocks me in front of her friends. And now you're upset because I'm done?" "I never—" He stops, swallows. "I didn't know it was that bad." "You didn't want to know?" He looks at his coffee, doesn't argue, can't. "We can talk about this," he says quietly. "Figure something out. I'll talk to Bianca. Make her apologize." "I don't want an apology. I want my house back." "But this is our home." "No," I say. "This is my home. You've been guests, and guests can overstay their welcome." He stands abruptly. "I can't believe you're doing this. Mom would be ashamed." The words are meant to wound, but they bounce off. His mother, my ex-wife, left when Noel was 12 because she couldn't handle being married to a chef who worked 80-hour weeks. She moved to Portland and remarried. Sends Noel a card at Christmas. She has no standing here, and neither does her memory. "Your mother made her choices," I say. "I'm making mine." He leaves the kitchen. I hear him upstairs, voice raised, talking to Bianca. She shouts back. Doors slam. I rinse my cup and start making a simple breakfast. Toast, butter, jam, just for me. At 8, my phone buzzes. Text from Jonas. "Video goes live at 11. You ready?" I text back, "Ready." At 9, the moving truck pulls into the neighborhood. I watch from my bedroom window as it slows, signals, and backs carefully into my driveway. 2 men get out. I go downstairs and meet them at the door. "Mr. Larkin?" the older one asks. "That's me." "We're here for the partial move. Bedroom furniture, kitchen equipment, office items. That right?" "Exactly right." They get to work. I've already labeled everything with tape. My bed frame, my dresser, the bookshelf from my office, boxes of clothes and personal items. The kitchen is harder. I own most of the good equipment, the chef's knives, the heavy pots, the stand mixer, the real cutting boards. I've marked them. The movers wrap each piece carefully. Bianca comes downstairs around 9:30. She's still in pajamas, hair messy, face hard. She sees the movers carrying a box labeled G. Larkin, Kitchen, and her mouth opens. "What is this?" she demands. "I'm moving," I say calmly. "You can't just move. We live here." "I'm not moving you. I'm moving me." Tara's car pulls up outside, then Kennedy's, then 2 more. Bianca's brunch guests arriving on time for once. They get out, see the moving truck, and hesitate on the sidewalk. Bianca rushes to the front door. "Not today," she calls out. "We have to cancel." But they're already walking up. Tara, phone in hand, films the truck. "What's going on?" she asks, her voice bright with the kind of curiosity that smells like drama. Bianca's face flushes. It's nothing. Just a misunderstanding. Noel appears in the doorway behind her. He looks at the gathering crowd, at the movers, at me. Dad, please. Can we talk about this privately? We had 3 years to talk privately, I say. You chose silence. One of the movers comes down the stairs carrying my framed photo from Marcello's, the one of me and the whole kitchen staff on the night we got our James Beard nomination. Bianca stares at it. You're taking everything? She asks, voice rising. I'm taking what's mine. But you need to find your own place, I say. The notice gave you 30 days. That's more than fair. Hadley's car pulls up behind the moving truck. She gets out, briefcase in hand, and walks straight to me. Gideon, how's it going? Smooth so far. She nods and turns to Noel and Bianca. I have copies of the legal notice for you both, along with additional documentation regarding the property ownership and termination of occupancy. Do you want to review it now, or should I leave it with you? Noel stares at her. You're his lawyer? I am, and I want to make sure you understand the situation clearly. This property is solely owned by Gideon Larkin. You have been residing here as guests under an informal arrangement. That arrangement has been formally terminated. You have 30 days from yesterday to vacate. If you fail to do so, we will proceed with legal eviction. Bianca's hands shake. This is insane. Noel, do something. Noel just stands there, pale, silent. Hadley hands him a folder. Everything's in here. If you have questions, my contact information is on the first page. Tara is still filming. Kennedy is texting furiously. The other friends hover near the driveway, pretending not to stare, but absolutely staring. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I pull it out. Notification from my blog. New video posted. When to stop cooking for people who don't respect your table. It's 11 a.m. Within seconds, my phone buzzes again. A comment notification, then another, and another. I glance at the screen. The view count is climbing. Fast. 50 views. 200. 500. Tara's phone buzzes. She looks down at it, frowns, and taps something. Her eyes widen. Oh my God. What? Kennedy asks. Tara turns her phone around. On the screen is my video. The thumbnail shows my face, calm and serious, with the text, Know your worth in the kitchen. This is him, Tara says, pointing at me. This is Noel's dad. Bianca grabs the phone, watches 10 seconds. Her face goes white. On the screen, my voice is steady. If you're cooking for people who mock your work, who treat you like hired help in your own home, it's time to stop. You deserve a table where you're respected. I don't name anyone, don't describe specific events, but anyone who knows the situation, anyone who's heard Bianca's comments or seen how they treat me, will recognize the story. The comments are rolling in. I see them over Bianca's shoulder as she scrolls, her hand shaking. This is so relatable. My daughter-in-law does the same thing. That man is a legend. How dare they? I looked him up. He was head chef at Marcello's for over 20 years. Respect. If this is about his family, they should be ashamed. Bianca drops the phone, looks at me. You posted this? I posted my experience. I didn't name you. Everyone will know. Then maybe you should have been kinder. Her friends are on their phones now. I can see it in their faces. The realization. The pieces clicking. They look at Bianca, at me, at the moving truck. Kennedy backs toward her car. I think I'm going to go, Kennedy says. Me too, one of the others murmurs. Tara is still filming. Bianca notices and lunges. Stop recording. Tara lowers the phone. I wasn't... Get out, Bianca screams. All of you, get out. They scatter. Car doors slam. Engines start. Within 2 minutes, the driveway is empty except for the moving truck, Hadley's sedan, and Noel's car. The movers finish loading the last boxes. The older one approaches me with a clipboard. That's everything on the list. We'll meet you at the storage unit. I'll be right behind you, I say. I sign the paperwork. They close the truck doors and drive away. I turn to Noel and Bianca. They're standing in the doorway. Bianca with tears on her face, Noel looking gutted. Dad, Noel says hoarsely. I'm sorry. I know, I say. But sorry doesn't change anything. You have 30 days. Use them. I walk to my car, parked on the street. Hadley follows me. You all right? She asks quietly. I will be. If they give you any trouble, call me immediately. I will. Thank you, Hadley. She squeezes my shoulder and gets into her car. I sit behind the wheel and look at the house one last time. Bianca is on the front step, phone in her hand, scrolling through the comments that are probably multiplying by the minute. Noel stands beside her, hands in his pockets, staring at nothing. I start the engine, check my mirrors. And as I pull away from the curb, I glance at my phone one more time. The video has 20,000 views. The storage unit smells like cardboard and concrete. I spend 2 hours helping the movers unload everything into a 10 by 15 space. Furniture stacked carefully, boxes labeled and organized, my kitchen equipment wrapped and stored like artifacts. When they finish, I stand in the doorway and look at my life condensed into a grid of objects. It should feel sad. Instead, it feels like possibility. I drive to a motel near the waterfront, the kind of place that's clean but unremarkable, where you pay by the week and nobody asks questions. The room has a bed, a desk, a TV, and a small kitchenette. I unpack my suitcase, hang my clothes, and set my laptop on the desk. Then I sit on the bed and open my blog. 60,000 views, the number keeps climbing. The comments section is overflowing. Jonas has sent 5 messages. Dude, this is blowing up. You're trending on food Twitter. BuzzFeed just asked if they can write about it. Call me when you can. Seriously, call me. I call. He picks up on the first ring. Gideon, what the hell, man? This is insane. What's insane? Your video. It's everywhere. People are sharing it, reacting to it, stitching it. You're going viral. I don't know what that means. He laughs. It means everyone's watching. You've got DMs from publications wanting interviews. 3 brands reached out about sponsorships. And Franco called me to ask if you're okay. I lean back against the headboard. I'm okay. Good, because this is huge. You've been doing this blog for 2 years, and it's been great. But this is the moment. People connect with the story, the emotion, the dignity. I didn't do it for attention. I know, that's why it works. He pauses. So what now? You going to keep posting? I don't know yet. Well, think about it. And you've got a real platform now. Use it. We talk for another 20 minutes. He sends me screenshots of comments, articles, reaction videos. I scroll through them, dazed. People are analyzing every sentence, debating whether I was right to leave, sharing their own stories of being disrespected by family. One comment has 6,000 likes. This man served excellence and got mockery in return. He didn't owe them another second. I close the laptop and stare at the ceiling. My phone buzzes. A text from Franco. Saw the video, proud of you. Come by the restaurant tomorrow. I want to talk. Another text, this one from a number I don't recognize. Mr. Larkin, my name is Elliot from Food and Culture magazine. We'd love to feature your story. Can we set up a call? And another from Hadley. Checking in. Everything all right? I respond to Franco and Hadley. Ignore the magazine for now. Then I open my banking app and look at the numbers. I've been careful with money my whole life. Decades of paychecks, modest spending, smart investments. The house sale will add to that. I don't need much, never have. A small apartment, basic expenses, enough to keep the blog running and maybe travel a little. I think about Noel, about the look on his face as I drove away. Part of me aches. He's my son. I raised him. But another part of me, the part that spent 3 years swallowing insults and cooking for people who saw me as a punchline, feels nothing but relief. Sunday, I meet Franco at Marcello's. It's closed for the day, but he lets me in through the back. The kitchen is quiet, scrubbed clean, smelling faintly of lemon and stainless steel. We sit at the chef's table, a small two-top near the pass where we used to taste new dishes during development. Franco pours us both wine. You caused quite a storm. Didn't mean to. Yes, you did. He grins. And I'm glad. That boy needed a wake-up call. And that wife of his, she needed more than that. I just wanted my house back. You wanted your respect back, Franco corrects. And you got it. The whole world is talking about you. Food blogs, cooking sites, even the mainstream news picked it up. Legendary chef stands up to ungrateful family. You're a hero. I'm not a hero. I'm just tired. Franco leans forward. Listen, I've been thinking. You're free now. No house to manage, no family dragging you down. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. Come back, he says. Not as head chef. I know you don't want that grind. But as a consultant. Guest chef nights. Teach the staff. Do special dinners once a month. Whatever you want. I stare at him. You're serious? Completely. Mateo's good, but he worships you. Having you around, even part-time, would elevate the whole restaurant, and people would come just to see you cook again. I'll think about it. Do more than think. You've got a voice now, Gideon. People are listening. Don't waste it. Monday, I get a call from a culinary school downtown. They've seen the video and want me to guest lecture once a month, teach knife skills, talk about kitchen culture, share stories from my career. I say yes. Tuesday, a producer from a streaming platform messages me. They're developing a show about older chefs reclaiming their space in modern food culture. Would I be interested in being part of the pilot? I say maybe. Wednesday, my phone rings at midnight. I don't recognize the number, but I answer anyway. Dad? Noel's voice, shaking. What's wrong? I ask, sitting up. He stops. I hear him breathing hard. I wanted to say I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not because of the video or the house or any of that. I'm sorry because I let her treat you that way. I let myself forget who you are. I don't respond. Let him keep talking. She's furious. Her friends won't talk to her. Her followers are messaging her about the video. She keeps saying it's your fault, but I know it's not. It's mine. I should have stood up for you. His voice cracks. I should have been a better son. Where are you staying? I ask. We found a short-term rental. It's expensive. We're scrambling. He laughs bitterly. Turns out we should have been saving like you said. You have 23 days left, I remind him. I know. We'll be out. I promise. He pauses. Are we okay? You and me? I think about it. I don't know yet, Noel. That depends on what you do next. What do you mean? You can't just apologize and expect everything to go back to normal. You have to show me that you learned something, that you respect me, that you won't let someone else disrespect me again. I will, he says quickly. I promise I will. Then prove it. We hang up. I don't feel forgiveness yet, but I feel something close to it. A crack in the wall. Thursday, I film a new video. This one is different, calmer. I talk about boundaries, yes, but also about second chances. About how the hardest thing in cooking and in life is knowing when to walk away and when to give someone another plate. Jonas loves it. This is perfect. You're showing growth, complexity. People are going to eat this up. I'm not performing for them, I say. I know. That's why they love you. Friday, I signed the final paperwork for the house sale. It went fast. Patricia found a buyer within 10 days. A young couple with 2 kids who love the kitchen and the backyard. They close in 3 weeks. The money will cover my living expenses for years and leave plenty for whatever comes next. Saturday, exactly 1 week after the moving truck, I'm at the farmer's market. The vendors greet me by name. One of them, Maria, who sells heirloom tomatoes, pulls me aside. I saw your video, she says. My daughter showed me. I cried. I'm sorry. No, she squeezes my hand. Thank you. My son-in-law treats me the same way. Watching you stand up gave me courage. I'm moving out next month. I don't know what to say. She hugs me and presses a bag of tomatoes into my hands. On the house, for a chef who knows his worth. I walk through the market, and people nod at me, smile. A few stop me to shake my hand or tell me their own stories. I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a chef who said enough. But somehow, that's resonating. That night, I sit in my motel room and make a list. Not of what I've lost, but of what I've gained. My dignity, my voice, my freedom, a platform to teach again, respect from strangers who see me clearly, and maybe, eventually, a repaired relationship with my son, if he earns it. I post the new video, close the laptop, and for the first time in 3 years, I sleep through the night without waking up to replay insults in my head. The motel room becomes routine. I wake at 5, make coffee in the small kitchenette, and edit videos until the sun rises. Jonas schedules posts, handles sponsor inquiries, and keeps me updated on metrics I still don't fully understand. The blog grows. 50,000 followers, then 70, then 100. Brands reach out. Knife companies, cookware lines, even a spice subscription service. I turn most of them down. The ones I accept are products I already use and respect. A week after the confrontation, I receive an email from the culinary school. They want me to start in 2 weeks. Monday and Wednesday afternoons, teaching fundamental techniques to second-year students. The pay is modest but steady. I accept immediately. Franco calls every few days. Not to push, just to check in. We talk about food, about the restaurant, about the old days. He mentions that Mateo asks about me constantly, that the servers remember my plating style, that regulars still request the veal dish I created 15 years ago. You left a legacy, Franco says one evening. People don't forget that kind of excellence. I didn't think about legacy, I admit. I just tried to cook well. That's exactly why it lasted. I visit Marcello's on a Tuesday night, entering through the back like I always did. The kitchen is loud, controlled chaos, the sound of tickets printing and pans clanging. Matteo sees me and nearly drops his spatula. "Chef!" He wipes his hands on his apron and crosses the kitchen in 4 strides. "You came." Franco invited me. "I'm so glad." He gestures around the kitchen. "Can I show you what we're working on?" I spend 2 hours tasting new dishes, offering quiet suggestions, watching the line work. The rhythm is familiar. The heat, the speed, the precision. I don't miss the pressure, but I miss the purpose. The feeling that what you create matters to someone. When service ends, Matteo pulls me aside. "Would you ever consider coming back? Just once a week. Cook whatever you want. We'll make it a special event night." Franco mentioned something similar. "Because we need you." He looks at me earnestly. "Not just for the food, for the mentorship. Half these guys learned from videos online. They don't understand the culture, the respect, the discipline. You could teach them." I promise to think about it. On the drive back to the motel, I imagine standing at a station again, plating a dish I designed, hearing the satisfied silence when someone tastes something perfect. Maybe not every day, but once a week, that could work. The culinary school orientation is on a Thursday. I meet the program director, a woman named Ellen, who runs the kitchen with military efficiency. She shows me the teaching space, a demonstration kitchen with stadium seating, cameras for recording, and every tool a chef could need. "We've had students asking about you," she says. "Some saw your blog, others heard stories from chefs you trained. They're excited." "I'm not a teacher," I say. "You've been teaching for 40 years. You just did it in kitchens instead of classrooms." She hands me a folder. Class lists, curriculum guidelines, equipment inventory. "Your first session is Monday. Knife skills and basic cuts. Teach it however you want." I take the folder home and read through it. 30 students, ages 18 to 50, some fresh out of high school, others career changers. All of them want to learn what I spent decades perfecting. That weekend, I prepare. I write out lesson plans, practice demonstrations, and film myself doing basic cuts to review my technique. Jonas stops by the motel Saturday afternoon with takeout and feedback. "You're overthinking it," he says, watching me practice julienne and carrots for the 15th time. "Just be yourself. That's what people respond to." "I want to do it right." "You always do it right. That's your whole thing." He steals a carrot slice. "By the way, the video from last week hit 200,000 views. You're officially a big deal." "I'm a chef." "You're both." He grins. "Get used to it." Monday arrives. I dress carefully. Clean chef's coat, comfortable shoes, my favorite knife roll. The classroom is full when I arrive. 30 faces watching me. I set my knives on the demonstration table and take a breath. "Good afternoon. I'm Gideon Larkin. I was a head chef for 23 years before I retired. I'm here to teach you technique, but more importantly, I'm here to teach you respect. Respect for the ingredient, respect for the craft, respect for yourself and everyone in your kitchen." I pick up a carrot. This is a carrot. Simple, cheap. You've probably cut 1,000 of them. But there's a right way and a wrong way. The right way honors the vegetable and produces consistent, beautiful results. The wrong way wastes product and time. Let me show you the difference. For 90 minutes, I teach, demonstrate, correct, encourage. The students are focused, asking questions, practicing their cuts. When class ends, several stay behind to ask for advice. One, a woman in her 40s named Grace, thanks me with tears in her eyes. "I left my job to do this," she says. "Everyone said I was too old. Watching your video made me realize it's never too late." I don't know what to say, so I just nod. "Keep practicing. You'll be fine." Wednesday's class is even better. Students arrive prepared, knives sharpened, questions focused. I teach them brunoise, chiffonade, bâtonnet. By the end, the room smells of onions and herbs, and everyone leaves proudly holding samples of their cuts. Ellen pulls me aside. "The feedback is incredible. Students say it's the best class they've taken. Some enrolled because of you." "I'm just teaching basics." "You're teaching why basics matter. That's rare." She hesitates. "Would you consider adding another class, advanced technique, menu development?" "Let me finish this session first." That night, Jonas calls. "A publisher reached out. They want you to write a cookbook." "A cookbook?" "Yeah, based on your blog and career. Titles like Timeless Techniques or The Quiet Kitchen. You'd get a co-author, you just cook and talk." I open my laptop. The offer is real. Professional contract, a generous advance, royalties, an 18-month publication timeline. I think of my mother's recipe cards, my old notebooks filled with decades of notes. Tell them I'm interested, I say. Jonas whoops. You're building an empire. I'm just cooking, I answer, but I know it's more. I'm reclaiming my voice. On Friday, Noel texts, can we meet? Just us? No Bianca. I agree to Saturday, 10 a.m. at a cafe near Franco's. Saturday, I arrive early. Noel comes exactly at 10, looking older, worn. Thanks for meeting, he says, sitting without ordering. Bianca and I are separating. I wait. It's been coming. The video just made it impossible to pretend anymore. She blames everyone but herself. I can't do it. He pauses. I'm ashamed it took so long, that I let her treat you like that I chose her comfort over you. Why tell me now? Because I'm trying to be better. I got a second job, I'm saving, looking for my own place, and I've been watching your videos. All of them. His voice breaks. I forgot who you were. I'm sorry, Dad. I reach across the table and take his hand. I forgive you. He cries openly, shoulders shaking. I hold his hand and let him fall apart. When he finally settles, he asks, can we start over? Not pretend nothing happened? Just build something new? Yes, but it takes time and effort, from both of us. I know, I'm ready. We talk for an hour, his job, the divorce, my classes, the cookbook offer. It's awkward, emotional, real, a beginning. When we stand, he hugs me tightly. I love you, Dad. I love you too. He walks away, and for the first time in months, I feel hope. Not for what was, but for what could be. The house closes escrow on a Tuesday morning. I meet Patricia at the title company, sign a stack of documents, and watch as the wire transfer confirmation appears on the notary's screen. Just like that, 15 years of mortgage payments and renovations and memories convert into numbers in an account. Congratulations, Patricia says, shaking my hand. The buyers are thrilled. They're planning to keep the kitchen exactly as it is. Good, I say. It's a good kitchen? I spend the afternoon looking at apartments online, studio and one-bedrooms in quiet neighborhoods, places with decent kitchens and natural light. By evening, I've scheduled 3 viewings for the next day. The first apartment is too dark. The second is too expensive for what it offers. The third is perfect, a 1-bedroom in a building near the farmer's market with a galley kitchen that's small but well-designed, granite counters, gas stove, a window over the sink that looks out at a courtyard garden. I'll take it, I tell the landlord. I sign the lease that evening. Move-in date is 2 weeks away, which gives me time to retrieve my furniture from storage and settle in properly. The teaching gig continues to grow. Ellen adds me to the spring schedule for an advanced class on sauce making. Students from my first session stop me in the hallways to show me photos of dishes they've cooked. One sends me a message. Because of your class, I got a job at a real restaurant. Thank you for believing in me. Franco finally convinces me to do a guest chef night at Marcello's. We plan it for a Friday in late spring. I'll cook a 5-course tasting menu, limited to 30 guests. Tickets sell out in 6 hours. I spend 2 weeks developing the menu. Classic dishes from my time at the restaurant, updated slightly with modern techniques, a silky cauliflower veloute, pan-seared duck breast with cherry gastrique, my signature veal dish, lemon panna cotta with olive oil and sea salt. The night of the dinner, I arrive at 3 p.m. to begin prep. The kitchen is mine for the evening. Matteo and his sous chefs assist, but I'm calling the shots. It feels like coming home. The heat, the rhythm, the focus. My hands move through tasks they've done 10,000 times. Service begins at 7, tickets print. I plate with the same precision I demanded from my team for 2 decades. Each dish leaves the pass perfect. Halfway through service, Franco enters the kitchen. Table 12 wants to meet the chef. Tell them I'm busy. It's the food critic from the Times. I glance up. Tell them I'll be out after service. By 9:30, the last plate goes out. I wipe down my station, hang my apron, and walk into the dining room. The critic is at a corner table, a woman in her 50s with sharp eyes and a notebook. I shake her hand. Gideon Larkin, she says. That was exceptional. Every dish. Thank you. I heard you retired. What brought you back? I didn't come back. I just stopped by for a night. She smiles. Well, the city missed you. I'll be writing about this. The review runs the following week. 4 stars. She describes my food as precise, soulful, and timeless, and calls the evening a masterclass in classical technique executed with modern grace. I move into the new apartment on a Saturday. Jonas and a couple guys from the culinary school help me haul furniture. By evening, the space is set up. Bed in the bedroom, desk by the window, kitchen equipment organized and ready. I stand in the middle of the living room and feel something I haven't felt in years. Peace. Sunday, I cook for myself. A simple roast chicken with vegetables. Nothing fancy. I plate it carefully, pour a glass of wine, and sit at my small table by the window. The courtyard garden is green and quiet. I eat slowly, tasting every bite. This is enough. That night, I film a short video. Just me, in my new kitchen, talking about starting over. About how sometimes you have to walk away from what's broken to build something better. Jonas posts it Monday morning. It gets 300,000 views in 24 hours. Comments flood in. This is what courage looks like. Thank you for showing us that it's never too late. You inspire me every single day. I read them and realized that what started as a quiet blog about cooking has become something bigger. A community of people who believe in respect, in boundaries, in knowing your worth. Spring arrives slowly, then all at once. The courtyard garden outside my window explodes with color. I settle into a rhythm, teaching Mondays and Wednesdays, filming videos Tuesdays and Thursdays, Fridays at the farmer's market, weekends for myself, for experimenting with new recipes in my small, perfect kitchen. The cookbook project begins in earnest. The publisher assigns me a co-author named Cambria, a food writer in her 30s. We meet at my apartment on a Tuesday morning. I've been following your blog for months, she says. Your story is incredible. This book is going to be special. We spend 6 hours together. I cook. She watches, asks questions, takes notes. We talk about my years at Marcello's, about the dishes I'm most proud of, about the techniques I want to preserve. Over the next month, we meet weekly. I teach her to make stock, to break down a chicken, to build a sauce from nothing. Slowly, the book takes shape. Not just a collection of recipes, but a memoir told through food. The title evolves. The Quiet Kitchen, Lessons in Technique, Respect, and Knowing When to Walk Away. Noel and I meet every other week now. Coffee, lunch, sometimes just a walk. The conversations are easier. He's living in a studio apartment across town, working 2 jobs, slowly rebuilding. I've been cooking more, he tells me one Saturday. Nothing fancy, just trying to remember what you taught me. Yeah? What did you make? Scrambled eggs, low heat, constant motion. They turned out good. I smile. That's a start. I want to learn more. Come by next Sunday. We'll make something simple. He shows up exactly on time, nervous but eager. I walk him through making a basic risotto. He makes mistakes, but he listens, adjusts, learns. When we sit down to eat, he takes the first bite and closes his eyes. This is good. It's not bad for a first try. I get it now. What you were trying to teach me all those years. The spring semester ends. My students throw me a small party in the demonstration kitchen, complete with a cake they baked themselves. Grace, the woman who thanked me on the first day, gives a short speech. You taught us that food is respect. That technique matters, that we're never too old to start something meaningful. Thank you. Franco invites me to do another guest night at Marcello's. This time, I suggest we do it quarterly. Once every 3 months, I'll design a menu and cook for a limited crowd. The blog continues to grow. 500,000 followers now. Jonas hired an assistant to help manage comments and sponsor requests. The income is modest but steady, supplementing my teaching salary. One evening, I receive an email from Bianca. The subject line is simple. I'm sorry. I almost delete it, but curiosity wins. Gideon, I don't expect you to forgive me, but I wanted to say I'm sorry for how I treated you. You opened your home to us, and I repaid you with disrespect. I've moved to Arizona, started therapy. I'm working on myself. I don't expect a response. I just wanted you to know that I see now what I couldn't see then. Bianca. I read it twice. Then I close the laptop. I don't respond. Maybe I will someday, but not yet. Summer arrives. I film a series of videos about grilling and outdoor cooking. Neighbors occasionally wave as they pass. One, an older woman named Iris, stops to chat. I've been following you since the beginning, she says. You're an inspiration. I sit on my balcony that night, watching the sunset, and feel something I haven't felt in years. Gratitude. The final weeks of summer blur past. I finalize recipes for the cookbook and prepare for the next quarterly dinner at Marcello's. Jonas insists I need a calendar app. I resist, but eventually concede. The cookbook manuscript is due in August. Cambria and I spend a weekend finalizing the text. She reads the introduction aloud. The Quiet Kitchen is about approaching food and life with patience, precision, and respect. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to serve people who can't taste it. Whether you're a professional chef or a home cook, my hope is that this book reminds you that technique matters, that boundaries matter, and that it's never too late to reclaim your table. Is that okay? She asks. I nod. It's perfect. The manuscript goes to the publisher on a Thursday. Franco invites me to Marcello's for a celebratory dinner. We sit at the chef's table, Matteo bringing out course after course. To new chapters, Franco says, raising his glass. To old friendships, I reply. The next quarterly dinner happens in early September. I invite Noel as a guest. He sits near the kitchen, watching me work. Between courses, I step out briefly. You okay? I ask. More than okay, he says. This is incredible, Dad. The critic from the Times returns with a colleague. 2 weeks later, another review appears, calling the dinner a testament to the fact that true mastery doesn't fade. The culinary school asked me to lead a weekend intensive for professionals. 20 chefs sign up. We work from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. both days. On the last day, a young woman running her own restaurant pulls me aside. I was about to quit, she admits. But this weekend reminded me why I started. Thank you. Fall arrives. I film videos about seasonal cooking. My followers cross 750,000. Noel visits regularly. We cook together, talk about his progress. He's dating someone new, a woman named Lauren. He brings her to dinner one Sunday. Your father is wonderful, she tells me. Noel talks about you constantly. October brings news. The publisher wants to move up the release date. The book will launch in early February. Cambria and I scramble to finalize edits and plan a small launch event. Jonas books my first podcast appearance for November. We talk about my career, the blog, the cookbook, and the video that changed everything. Do you regret how it happened? The host asks. No, I say, because it forced a conversation that needed to happen. The episode goes viral in food circles. In December, the final proofs arrive. Cambria and I review them at my apartment. The pages are beautiful. Full-color photos, my handwritten notes, sidebars with technique tips and stories. Christmas is quiet. Noel and Lauren invite me for dinner. We cook together, a roast, vegetables, a pie. We eat, laugh, exchange small gifts. The year ends quietly. I spend New Year's Eve alone, cooking a simple dinner. At midnight, I raise a glass. My phone buzzes. Jonas. Happy New Year. Book launch in 6 weeks. You ready? I smile and type back, ready.